This is TWiT.
We've been talking for the past couple of weeks about YouTube Music emerging on the scene, the new version of YouTube Music, and what that means for Google Play Music, whatever. I signed up as soon as I could to get access to it, and sure enough, yesterday I was one of the folks who were in the first wave of YouTube Music invites. There you can see, if you're watching on the screen, that's the email as it looks. It says, welcome to the new YouTube Music. I didn't have to install an update to the app, which I thought was interesting. It just, when I logged back in the app, I was in preview mode. Or whatever, early access mode.
This is it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is.
All right.
And I got to tell you, not terribly impressed and slightly frustrated and annoyed, because despite all the talk about Google Play Music and YouTube Music and how they're going to interact, none of my information or data from Google Play Music appeared in it. No knowledge of my favorite artist or anything like that. When you open the app for the first time, you could go through one of those, tell us your favorite artist. And I got to tell you, I went through the entire screen, like the entire, this is the screen that you're on right now, Jason. I went through from the top to the bottom, and by the way, scroll back up. Can you scroll all the way up? Look who's right there in the middle, our good friend Marshmallow.
Oh yeah,
friend of the show, friend of the show, Marshmallow. So what frustrated me about this was the fact that, yes, there were some bands that I enjoyed in there, and I checked them, and when you give them feedback, they give you another row and more suggestions. I went through the entire thing, and there's no filtering of genre. There's no saying I don't like this artist or anything like that. And you guys know me, I'm very specific about music and things like that, but not once did I get one of 5 bands I consider my favorite bands. So according to YouTube Music, it's not going to recommend me any of those bands because it didn't come up in this very limited, tell us who you like kind of thing. It had some of them, and when I tapped on some, and then it expanded a little more and things like that. But right now it's very myopic. But the other interesting thing I thought was neat was that it's doing a lot of recommendations based off that stuff, which is cool. But if you go back away from this, you notice the difference between music to get you started. You see your mixtape there is a square, and albums appear as a square. But then there are artists, and you can tap on an artist, like just tap on Fleetwood Mac, and you could subscribe to that artist the same way you subscribe to a YouTube channel. Right. So if you tap subscribe, now you'll get anything from that artist, not necessarily directly from them. It's not like their profile. It's just a page that represents that band. It's a weird thing. It's weird. But yeah.
So work in progress.
Yeah.
Aren't they happy that they've promoted this so heavily and got people, excited? Which excited is probably not the right word. I think it's been one week after the next has been kind of a frustrating transitional thing. No one really knows what's going on.
I seriously think that this is to grab new people. This is not to, like, we're very, very focused on what the experience is from Google Play Music and what the difference is and things like that. I very much believe this is like Google trying to attract as much business away from Spotify and from Apple Music and from the other platforms and just get them on anything that works. And this is the new sexy. Like, that's all it is, I think.
This is the new sexy. I like that.
But before we move on, though, one quick note: we did get an email. Jason Smith wrote in, not Howell, and said last week you had someone who was concerned that YouTube Music needed Android Auto integration. He said, I'm one of the lucky ones, a current Google Music subscriber who was given the new YouTube Music. I can confirm, as shown in the picture attached, and he sent a picture, that YouTube Music does indeed work with Android Auto.
Oh, nice. So there you go.
If you were concerned about Android Auto and YouTube Music, they do work. So there you go.
Perfect.
Good.
Yay. They figured that out, at least. That part.
No one's crashing cars today.
Good.